What is going on, my guys, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended. So as I've been messing around with this new game, I've been noticing a few differences in the way you're going to raid, the way like structures work and explosions work. So we're going to be going over that today. The things you're going to need to know if you want to start to raid and progress in this game. So let's hop right into this new video. Alright, so the big thing that is first is turret placement is going to be a lot different in this game. Traditionally, people just put them on like large hatch frames. There's no large hatch frames in this. There's like these things called cellar doors, which are pretty much the same, but you actually can't place turrets on these. They're not really going to be used for the same purpose as large hatch frames. So you're going to have to figure out somewhere else to put your turrets. So on the edge is probably going to be like the best solution I can think of right now. Some of them will probably think of a better structure to place them on, but there's no catwalks, there's no hatch frames. So for now, I think a lot of people are just going to put the turrets right on the edge, which actually makes raiding a little bit easier. You can kind of get like some blind spots on the turrets this way, which is going to help you out a lot. Alright, so another big thing, third person C4, still a thing. But C4 in itself is pretty scuffed. It looks like they've done a serious nerf to C4. It's doing about 25% damage as it did in Ark Survival Evolved, which is pretty insane. At the same time, I kind of understand the nerf. You put all this time into like building a base. Someone comes along with a couple C4 and raids it. So I kind of get the nerf, but at the same time, I don't know, dude. Like you're gonna have to be grinding out the C4 if you want to raid a base. So 4 C4 for a heavy turret, that's a pretty good amount just for one turret. People have a few turrets on their base. You're gonna need to be grinding the C4 down. All right, and then for walls, if we remember, I think it was 3 C4 before. So using our same logic, we should be using 12 to blow up this wall. Yeah, so it's gonna be 12 for a metal wall. Kind of a lot. Just be prepared for that. So let us check out the damage to all kinds of turrets, and I want to try out rockets too. Alright, so we got a heavy turret, a normal auto turret, and a tech turret. So first of all, 3 kinds of turrets with different types of HP. So C4, this should blow this auto turret. Yeah, so the auto turret still gets one shot by C4. And the heavy turret, actually, I noticed this yesterday, rockets have increased damage on this game. So it used to be like 2 rockets did like the same damage as 1 C4 in the old Ark. The new Ark, rockets actually do much more damage than C4. They're probably going to become the new meta as far as like rating goes. Rockets are cheaper than C4, and they're going to do almost, not twice as much, but pretty close to that amount of damage. Alright boys, so tech turrets are actually OP completely when it comes to using C4 against them. So you can see C4 does like 165 damage to a tech turret. So if my math is correct, don't test me on this. I've been staying up really late, but it is 50 C4 for 1 tech turret, which is pretty, it's a little much in my opinion. Like, that's ridiculous. Alright, and as far as structures go, I'm believing all these structures are going to be stronger than they were. Yeah, so 1 C4 on wood. In the old Ark, it needed 2 C4 as well. But let's see. So 4 C4 for a wooden wall. Kind of crazy. And stone used to be, yeah, so stone is the same. It's going to be just 2 C4 for a stone wall. Yeah, so 2 rockets for a wood wall. It should just be 1 rocket. And 1 rocket for the stone wall. So just keep that in mind as you're going out raiding. So vaults are another big thing. Pretty much if you have a vault and your early game, nobody's getting in that without some serious effort. It's going to take 50 C4 or more I'm not sure the exact amount. I'm sure someone has it by now. But 50 plus C4 to get into a vault, which at that point you're like, is what's in this vault really worth it for the amount of resources? Okay, so let's check out tech. So we got a force field and a generator here. So the same HP on the force field, 250,000. And it looks like the damage is the same from a tech rifle at least. The C4 damage is going to be nerfed where you're going to need like 4 times as much C4 for tech structures. So it's really not even worth it to use C4 on them. Maybe use like an Arthopleura, or if you can get to tech tier, then it might be worth it. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so I didn't even know this. It looks like there's no range on tech generators anymore. You can show the range, but you can't edit it unless I'm doing something wrong. So you just turn it on and it covers like the max range. I actually don't love the icons they're using for the settings on things. I wish they would just use the words again, but I don't know. Maybe other people like it. So let's check one more thing out here with some shards. Alright boys, so we're going to test out rafts really quick. You guys know I'm absolutely, I love raft raiding. It's cool. The rafts are looking pretty clean in this game, not going to lie. And the building is just clean. Like, you can say what you want, but this is so much better than the original Ark. The building, the snapping, the structures, they look very good. Alright, so here's something I actually noticed. You can build one spot further out from foundations. You used to be able to build 2 ceilings off foundations. Now you can build 3. So you can see I can actually stick this raft pretty far out there. And so any sort of raid you're going to do with a raft, it's going to work the same as Ark Survival Evolved. Let's pick up our foundation. Oh yeah, that is looking pretty clean. Alright, so I want to test out hatch Framequels really quickly. So I noticed they have the new, what's it called? I forgot already. The giant hatch frame. It's the cellar door. Okay, large cellar door. Surely you can't place this on. Okay, good. Alright, so no hatch frames on Quetzals. So no more hatch frame Quetzals, which is a pretty good thing. I feel like they were a little too OP. You could just build like some random mix of walls. It might work similarly. I really like this open close wall thing as well. I don't know if you guys know that. I figured this out just barely. Just open a wall. You don't even need a door. That's really cool. So no hatch frame Quetzals, but you could just make some random build like this. Okay, so let's test out 6 times damage really quick. It's got to still be in the game. Just be sure. Okay, so there is 6 times damage for sure. 2 C4 for a metal foundation there. You can figure out the rest. Just 6 times the original amount of C4 for any sort of caves. Okay, so the last thing I want to try out is this building method where you build into bases. If you're familiar with like the meta in Ark, this became a big thing where you could like build up and down into bases. Alright, so it looks like this has not been fixed. You can still build into bases. I have an enemy foundation up there on the top. And there's not very many base spots like this on the island, but on other maps there is a lot. So you can see, I shouldn't be able to build here, but I can with structures that don't have a foundation range. Yeah, so if I use a pillar, I can't build here because I'm too close, but other structures you can. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. A few rating tips. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this little video. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, my dudes.